Hi everyone, it's Kamau. Welcome back to my channel. If you're just joining me for the very first time, let me encourage you to subscribe to my channel and to click that bell so that you'll know whenever I post new videos. And I most certainly will be posting tons and tons of new videos. So you want to stay in the know, you don't want to miss a thing, click that bell and please subscribe. What I'll be sharing with you today is the experience that I had many years ago of delivering my baby on my own on my birthday. It was an absolutely unforgettable experience, as you can imagine, and it's something I've written about in my books. It's something I've always spoken about because it's very impactful, something like that. And so now that I have my YouTube channel, clearly I need to share it with you guys. So I was 24 years old and this was my second child, right? So I had my daughter at 21. She was 3 years old at the time, and so I was pregnant with my son. And we had made the necessary plans. It was never our intention to deliver at home, even though I was not opposed to it. I was totally open to it because I've read a lot, and I'm oriented to that thinking. Also, home birth is something that I would embrace, but at this particular time, we planned to deliver at the hospital. So we had made the arrangements. I booked for the hospital, made plans with the taxi driver to get me there. But it just so happened that on the morning when I woke up about 5 with pains, so indicated that labor had started, and I contacted the taxi driver who actually lived next door. So when I called, he wasn't home. He was miles away, right? So I was there pacing myself and saying, okay, I can probably wait until he gets there, because the contractions had pretty much just started. They were heavy, but they had just started. So I said, okay, get going because I need to get to the hospital, right? So he said, okay, I'm on my way. That's what he told us, I'm on my way. So we were there waiting. And waiting for a little while, and the pain was getting so much worse. I remember it was so bad. At one point, I lay down on the bed and I just kicked off my shoes. I just felt myself kicking off the shoes. I was in so much pain. And, my daughter was there. She was 3. She was sitting on the bed and she was just looking. She knew what was happening, I think, but at 3 you don't have the full understanding of what is happening. And her dad was there because we're all waiting on the taxi driver to come to take me to the hospital. So at a certain point, we're saying, you know what, because we're trying to reach him again and couldn't reach him, even though he said he was on his way coming. I said, you know what, I think you need to go out and try and get another cab. Even though we had made arrangements with this one, because can't reach him again, and we're not sure even if he is actually on the way. And my labor had progressed so quickly. This was my second child, and yes, I had read a lot about pregnancy and childbirth because I was, I had educated myself about it, but starting to get kind of nervous about, I really need to get to the hospital. So their dad had gone out now to get another cab, and I was there with my daughter alone. And at one point, the pain kind of subsided, and I felt like I needed to use the bathroom. So I got up, and when I got up, my water broke. And I said, oh damn, my water broke. that means the baby is almost here, right? So when your water breaks too, you don't want to take any chances with delay, because it's no longer, that bag is no longer there protecting the baby, so you don't want anything to happen to the baby in terms of infection or anything, because the protective sac has burst, so the baby is pretty much exposed to everything. So once the water breaks, you want to be sure that you're at a place where delivery can happen. So my water broke, and I remember I took off my underwear and I was about to change, and then I actually felt like the baby was coming. So I went into the bathroom and I knelt down, I stooped down on the floor, and I remember I took the mirror, because I wanted to see what was happening. I took the mirror and I put it between my legs, to see, and I actually saw the baby's head. I remember seeing, the hair on his head, and I said, oh my God, baby's coming. Now my daughter was there looking at everything. Because she trailed me wherever I went, right? And she was looking at what was happening. I, of course, focus on the baby that is coming, getting myself ready to deliver. Now, I knew that squatting was the best position, because like I said, I had read a lot about birth, and so I was not scared, to be honest with you. I was not scared at all. I was just of the presence of mind to do what I needed to do. And so when I saw the head, I said, you know what, I need to get myself ready to deliver this baby. This baby is coming. So I put the mirror down, and I was still squatting and trying to work with the pain, the contractions. I remember reading that I should wait for the contraction to push. I shouldn't just be there pushing. So I remembered that, and I was trying to pace myself, even though it was so painful. It was so terribly painful. I was still trying to hold and then wait for the contractions to push. And that's what I did. And then I just put my hand and I caught my baby. I caught him and lifted him up and saw that it was a boy, because we had not done any ultrasound to find out whether it's a male or a female. We wanted to be surprised. So I saw that it was a son. So I stood and I took him and I brought him to the bed, put him in a blanket. The placenta was still in. Right, placenta had not come out, because it takes some time. The placenta doesn't just come out immediately after the baby, right? So I had him on the bed, and I took something, I wiped him down, and I was checking his nose, make sure that he's breathing. He wasn't making any sound, and I pinched him because I wanted to make sure that he was okay, because I was saying, oh my God, he's not crying. He was just there looking at me, and I said, I need you to cry. I need you to make some noise, right? I think I pinched him, and he cried, and I pinched him again just to make sure. And I looked into his nostrils. They were clear. And I said, okay, I was wondering if I should cut the umbilical cord. And I was kind of not sure. So I reached for the alcohol, because it was in my bag. I'd packed stuff to take to the hospital. So alcohol was there, cotton was there. So I was sick, because I had a pair of scissors too, and I was sterilizing the scissors with the alcohol, getting ready to cut the cord, but still not sure if I should. And then I said, you know what, I'm just going to tie it. So I remember I got some embroidery thread. Now all this time, the baby's on the bed, I'm moving around with the umbilical cord inside of me, because the placenta is still inside me, and I'm cleaning up the baby, I'm getting this, I'm getting that, with a cord inside me. So, I remember I dipped the embroidery thread in alcohol, and I let it stay there for a while, and then I use that thread to tie just a little knot, maybe an inch or two from his navel. I tied it, and there was mess about, because this is birth, so that would be work for their dad to clean up later, but I wasn't concerned about that at all. So I wrapped him. I remember it was a green blanket. I wrapped my son in, and then their dad came and said, the taxi driver is here. The taxi driver is here. And I just took him up, still the placenta still inside, took him up in my arms, and we got someone to keep my daughter, as we had arranged for someone to keep her, and went into the taxi, still with the placenta inside, still holding my baby. Actually, when I was in the taxi, when we were like a mile from home, it was then that I suddenly remembered, and I said, oh my God, today's my birthday. I'd totally forgotten that it was my birthday. So it was in the taxi, and I said, oh my God, it's my birthday. And I smiled, and I said, well, you're my birthday present. And what a present it was, What a present that was. And to this day, it's a very special thing with me and my son, for him to have been born on my birthday, and for me to have delivered him by myself. That's very special. So in the cab, that's when the placenta came out. So we actually had towels, right? We had spread a lot of towels and so on to make sure that the car didn't get messed up, because I knew the placenta was needed to come out. It took a while, and then it was painful. When the placenta comes out, it comes with a pain of its own. So it was so painful, in fact, that we were even considering going to another medical center, which was close by, but extremely expensive. And then I said, no, I think I can do this. I can do this. And I pushed out the placenta there. And we got to the hospital, and they took us up to the ward and cleaned us up, and everybody was fine, perfect. And I was so proud of myself. I was so proud of myself that I just did what I had to do. I was not scared. I just did what I had to do. Nature took its course, and I got my birthday present. So I'm sharing my story with you. Have you ever delivered on your own, women? Or dad, did your wife deliver on her own? What was the situation? How did she manage? And ladies, tell me, what did you do? Because I know these things happen, pregnancy, childbirth, completely natural processes, and we see animals do it all the time. They just do what they have to do. So I'm not gonna go on like I'm a superwoman for having done it. Although I know that there are many women who would have freaked out, completely freaked out. Women have said this to me, and I know for a fact. Some, because we're so far removed from the natural processes at this time, yes, some women would have absolutely freaked out and probably would not have ended so well. So I'm glad that I was able to keep my composure, keep my wits about me, and do what I had to do. Let me know in your comments how you feel about my story, and join me next time. Take care. Please subscribe.